and gentlemen, welcome to the Wednesday Call Live. Today's hosts, Diane Lamping and James Coleman.
How you doing, Diane?
I'm doing awesome.
Doing good? Woo! How's everybody doing? Woo! That's what I'm talking about. Miss Diane?
I'm so proud to be standing here right next to you.
No, I'm proud to be standing next to you. That's right. Isn't she beautiful? Yes, yes.
I am so excited to be here today. I am so proud to be part of the Alliance.
That's right.
I love Andy Albright so much and Jane Albright. And I love all of you and what we've been building, and we're continue to build, and we're going to make it bigger than it's ever been before.
That's right.
With me on that.
Woo!
I got a question for you. Has anybody ever told you that you can't do something?
Uh-huh, yeah. They told me that.
Did you believe them? A little bit.
I
They
didn't believe
told, they told us, right?
They told us, Diane. Yes, they
And
did.
we didn't hear it. We didn't believe it. So I want to talk to you today and share with you, all of you, that you can too.
Yes, you can.
And you can have things, whatever you want in your life, and it all starts with one thing.
That's right. Start with you and your belief. That's what it starts with.
It's all about the dream. If you believe you can, or you believe you can't, either way, you're going to be right.
That's right.
And so thankful when I met Andy Albright, because his dreams were so big that mine could fit in them.
That's right.
And what we're going to talk about today is how can you start dreaming, or maybe you've let go of that dream. Maybe you've had those dream stealers come in. And I got to tell you, there's two people that didn't let the dream stealers come in on them, because we've got two winners already for the Alaska cruise.
Woo!
Yeah. I'm so proud. This is awesome. We know and love these guys. Why don't you tell them who they are? The first two ever for the Alaskan cruise, and then you got to be thinking, who's going to be next? Who do we got?
And take into consideration, they did it in 90 days. If we just started April, that would be Brent Swindell and Sarge. Woo!
Put them up there, James.
Put them up there.
Yep. That's the way to start something out, right? That's what I was talking about. Okay. It's interesting about dreams. Because, you know, when we're little, we got them. Right? Nobody can tell us that we can't do anything. We're just going to go do it because we don't know any different until somebody starts telling us we can't. And then as we get older, what happens? Oh, yeah, they told me I can't do that. They told me it wasn't meant for me. They told me that it meant for other people, or other people can do those things. Right? Why do we let them do that to us? I mean, that is the question. We allow it. And so I made a decision a long time ago, and I know James has too, is that why do we let people tell us what we can and cannot do? Think about it. So as we get older, what ends up happening is, oh, they said I can't do that, and then we don't try. And then the first time something goes wrong, we stop, because they said, so we might as well make them right instead of us being the right ones. So what we've got to believe, and what I've always thought about, is I'm going to show them that I can, not I can't. And so let's talk today about that, James. Yeah. And you know, what I love about James is when I first met him, he got a lot of stuff going on, because we all got stuff. A lot. Right? We all got stuff. And it's not what happens to you, it's how you react to what happens to you that really matters. And so when we have our circumstances, we say a lot of times, well, you know, blame it on somebody else. But you know who's really the blame? Well, it was me. I had to finally look in the mirror and say, if it's to be, it's up to me. I can't blame anybody else but myself. And so what I love about James is he knows why things happened in his life, and he decided that he wasn't going to accept them, and he wasn't going to allow that to be in his life anymore. Because there comes a point, and I really want to get to this right away, because it's all about the dream. Because without vision, people
Perish.
That's right.
right? And so the bigger your dream, the more apt you're going to be able to what? Keep going anyway.
That's right.
In spite of.
That's good.
You know, you're going to be able to go, Terry. Even you're going to make that one more phone call.
That's right.
Or you're going to stay up a little bit later that night and you're going to serve and help other people. Because if you help more people get what they want, guess what's going to happen? You're going to get what you want anyway.
Right.
It's just going to happen. And that's what I love about this. And so, James, I really want to set the stage a little bit here, because I don't think you ever lost sight of your dream. Did you?
Not at all. Not at all, Diane.
And I'm hoping the dream stealers haven't come in and got you. So if you're sitting here today or you're watching today, hopefully that's not you. Because I want you to know that you can have whatever you want. And I'm so thankful that Andy had that dream too, because none of us would be sitting here right now. Right?
That's right.
I don't know where I'd be right now if it wasn't for the Alliance. If it wasn't for my Alliance family, if it wasn't for my buds that I've got to know through the years, because I've been here 13 years now. Now, how many people can say they've been somewhere 13 years and they're so fired up?
Still.
Still. That's what I'm asking. I don't know, because, you know, people that have been in corporate America, you know, they're the walking dead.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, that was me.
But we're alive here at the Alliance.
That's right.
We
Woo!
are alive. Okay, so James, let's talk a little bit. I mean, I don't know if people know your story.
Well, I think some of them do, Diane, but for
Let's
the most
go.
part, there's probably a lot that don't know my story. But let me start with talking about dreams, talking about people stealing dreams. So here's what I remember. I remember when I was a little kid, looking out the window, watching the cars go by, with my brothers and sisters saying, "That's my car. I want that car." Anybody else done that besides me? And so, and here's what happened. As you get older, life kicks in, bills start happening, you become an adult. And what we tend to do is that we shrink our dreams down to our income instead of taking our income up to our dreams. See, I learned very early on that it wasn't important if the person bought my story. What was important, rather not I bought their story. You know, so here's what happens. You know, you start with people saying, "No, you can't do this. No, you can't do that." And what happens subconsciously in our mind, we start to believe what it is we can't do.
That's right.
And so we start going through life, you know, accepting that. So now the dreams that we used to have, we don't have them anymore. Our dream car becomes a Toyota.
Okay.
You know, if I offended anybody, I'm sorry. I apologize. It just ain't my dream car. Okay? Hey, look. I'm going for the Continental GT Bentley Coupe, all white, with the butter pecan soft leather interior. I'm just saying, that's what I'm going for. You know, so I tell you, and like I said, some of you may have heard my story before, some of you may have not. But I was in corporate America, and I tell you, I thought I was in control. Okay, I was making $165,000 a year. But I was working 70 to 80 hours a week. And, you know, I did the math on that. That's about $42.96 an hour. That might sound great to some people. I thought it was great to me because I thought I had arrived. Because I got a biz, life is good. But I hardly got to drove it. Why? Because I was at work. Here's what I know. The more they pay you, the more responsibility you have. And the more responsibility that you have, the more time away from your family. And I just found myself constantly traveling and not being at home. You know, put my daughter in the private school, the whole 9 yards, but I'm like, hey, this just cannot be life. It has to, and I'm looking at my boss, and I'm like, is that what I really want? Because he's never, if I'm not home, he's never ever home. And I'm like, I don't think I want that. Not when I know there's a cap. You know, the American dream, hey, look, go to school, get a degree, get a job, and work 40 years and retire happily ever after. Here's the question. How many people you know that has done just that and life is grand? They financially free, they set. See, when I was in corporate America, they kept telling me, James, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. And I'm like, okay, the sky's the limit. And I had a conversation with somebody one day. They said, hey, James, let me ask you a question. I said, yeah, what's up? They said, are you making history or are you making his story? And I was like, wait a minute, hold up. I said, that hurt. Are you trying to be funny? They said, James, here's what I know. If you get hurt and you cannot perform your job, guess what's going to happen? They're going to give that job to somebody else. They said, and James, let me be the bearer of bad news. You can't will that job down to your kids. Right. That's right. And from that very conversation, I was in search for something else. Because it made perfectly sense to me. They said, James, as long as you work a job, you can get told you don't have a job. You know, and so how my story went, I have 3 beautiful kids, and I have a beautiful wife. And by the way, I don't care what y'all say, my wife runs my house. Okay, I'm gonna put that out. You heard me, babe. Put it out there, okay? So, my daughter just graduated last year with a master's in mental health. I got a son, he'll be 19 in June. I got a 13-year-old. She just got her braces the other day for the first time. You know, I came home and her mouth is green. I'm like, why you get green braces? And my wife, like, she's 13, that's her favorite color. I'm like, okay, green mouth it is then. What you want me to do, right? And so I'm working in corporate America and everything. And in 2010, my wife got diagnosed with breast cancer. And it was a shock. It was a complete shock because we didn't expect, I think nobody expects that to happen, right? You know, and so when it happened, I'm like, Jesus, okay, we did not see this coming. Okay, so I'm going to every single doctor's appointment, every single chemo treatment and everything. Now, we live in Jersey at the time, and my wife's parents down in Miami, and I got family in Georgia. So I go to my boss, and I say, hey, look, is it possible you can get me a transfer down to Georgia or down to Miami to get my wife closer to her parents because we got a better support system down there? And my boss told me at the time, James, I don't think we should have this conversation. You got New York. I was the district manager for Best Buy. He said, you got New York #1 in the company for the past 7 years straight. Let's revisit this conversation a year or 2 from now. And I sat there and I looked at this man and I'm saying to myself, really? So I'm like, hey, look, hey, I'm going to get up and leave. Because if I say something to you, you're not going to like it. You say something back to me, it's probably not going to go right. So I'm just going to get up and leave. You know, and so I left. When I left, I called my wife's doctor and I asked her, would she give me a leave of absence? She was like, yeah, absolutely. And I made a decision that day to walk away from a $165,000 a year job because I can't put a price tag on my wife. I just can't. You know, moral support and support system, it means a lot when a person is dealing with something. You know, and so I told my wife, hey, look, we're going to move to Georgia. And my wife was like, okay, sure. And how many people know that when you got a whole bunch of money saved up and you got none coming in, it goes real fast? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Bridget, you understand, right?
Yes, I had a whole lot of money last year, and I used that money to move here, and yeah.
Welcome to the club. All right. Woo! And so the money went. And so when the money went, you know, they take your cars when you ain't got no money. Hint, hint, clue, clue. Trust me, I know. What I didn't know was that they take your garbage cans too. That's part I didn't know. So they took my garbage can, and I remember my wife saying, hey, babe, they took the garbage can. I said, they probably just gonna give us a new one. I'm in Georgia, I don't know. And so I called them up. I said, hey, you know, this Mr. Coleman, hey, when the garbage people came, they took the garbage can by mistake. And the man said, no, Mr. Coleman, we took it because you didn't pay your $35. Understand, I felt like this. Because here I am, a man, and I did not have $35. I didn't have it. My wife and I, we found ourselves in a situation where we looking through the couch for change. You know, we got to decide, you know, is it, do she get shampoo to wash my daughter's hair? Do we eat? What's it going to be? You know, that's the situation we find ourselves in. You know, lights being turned out, turn the, what's that, the heat and hot water off. You got the boiler on the stove. Yeah. That's where we was at. And I didn't like it, but here's what I knew. Come on, talk to us, bro. I knew that I had got on my knees and prayed to God to move me to Atlanta. And I knew God did not bring me down there to keep me in that situation. That's right. You know, and this opportunity had got introduced to me 2 years prior to me taking advantage of it. And I said no because I thought I was too good. Let me tell you something. God got a way of bringing you to your knees to get your attention. Okay, and that's what it was for me. And so when I made a decision that I wanted to be in the driver's seat of my income, I wanted to be in control of my life. I didn't want nobody else to be in control of that. I didn't want no job dictating whether or not I could take care of my family. I didn't want no job dictating what kind of vacations I could take. I didn't want no job dictating what school I could send my kids to. I didn't want no job dictating what kind of house I can afford to live in. I didn't want none of that. So my wife said, call Eric. I said, no, he sells insurance. He sells insurance. My wife said, boy, if you don't get in that room and call Eric. I said, okay, happy wife, happy life. So I call him up. Hey, man, what's going on? You still doing insurance? Yep. You still making 6 figures? Yep. Do I have to harass friends and family to make money? No, we got leads. I meant what I need to do. That's all I need to know. Because here's what I understood. You got to spend money to make money. This is a business. And I got involved with the Alliance. And when I got involved with the Alliance, I remember the first time I saw Mr. Andy Albright, I drove down to Charlotte and I saw Mr. Andy Albright and I was like, man, this dude is pretty sharp. I say he dressed pretty fly too, right? You know, oh, speaking of dressing fly, hey, Matt, what you think now? See your boy? Okay. So, and I was like, so Eric said, hey, James, you gotta get to conference. Family reunion. It was in July. I'll never forget it. I got started in April 2015. We went to conference, family reunion, in July 2015. Mess me up. Because I got to see the leaders exemplifying what I was reading in the books, exemplifying what was on the playbooks. And let me tell you what happened. My dreams kicked back into full gear. I said, hot dog, I done found it now. This is it. And that conference was so powerful. On the way home, it was my wife and this other young lady in the car crying. That's how powerful that conference was. So we got this thing that say this thing is caught, not taught. Yeah. This is caught, not taught. You don't know where you're going to catch it at. But here's what I know. You got to be in it. Yeah. You got to be in the system. And that conference did it for us. So it allowed us to start dreaming again. It allowed us to start to see light at the end of the tunnel. Because when I got involved in the business, I did not even have $90 to take the state exam. I had to borrow that money from my sister. You know, and I got a big family. I got 10 brothers and sisters. And here's what some of them said. Insurance, huh? Yeah, that ain't going to work. That ain't going to last. And so now they see me. I knew you could do it. I was rooting for you the whole time. And I'm like, yeah, sure you was. No, you wasn't. No, you wasn't. You know, but the things that we get to do today because of the Alliance. Let me tell you something. You know, my car broke down one day. And this in 2015. My car broke down. And because of the Alliance, I was like, I'm going to buy me a new car. Bam, just like that. I'm like, look at this right here. Then when I did it, I messed around and got a $1,000 bonus from CFG. All right? So, you know, it was like, put the money down, boom, got it right back. I'm like, this is fantastic. And so, now I'm like, okay, I want to make a bunch of money. I want to help a bunch of people make a bunch of money, right? But let me tell you something. When I started making money, right, I was like, yeah, this is good. And then I found myself not doing all the activity that I used to do. And I had a conversation with Miss Diane Lampy. That's right. James, if you want big things, you got to give up some things. And James found himself majoring in the minors. Okay. And here's what that was for the folks that don't know. Miss Diane said, I want you to track what you are doing over the next couple days, track what you're doing every 10 to 15 minutes and write it down. And I had no idea how bad I was majoring in the minors until I did what Miss Diane Lampy asked me to do. I didn't know I was spending that much time on Facebook, majoring in the minors. Instagram, majoring in the minors. And football. Jesus Christ. Being from New Jersey and moving down to Georgia, I'm a New York Giants fan. And all you haters, y'all better watch yourselves. Okay? I'm just saying. You know. And so I had got the NFL Sunday ticket. So whatever was happening on Sunday, whenever my Giants played, everything stopped. If they played on Monday, everything stopped. If they played on Thursday, everything stopped. And when I saw how much time I was putting into that and not into my business, I had to make a shift. Because here's what I knew. It wasn't making me no money. It wasn't putting me in position to help other people make money. And so I cut it out. Cut it out. In the past 3 years, I can count on one hand and not fill it up how many times I seen my New York Giants play. I turned down weddings. Look, I done turned down funerals. Look, God forbid, if Uncle passed away and I ain't seen Uncle in 14 years, he ain't gonna miss me not being there. I'm sorry, I'm just keeping it. It is what it is. I'm talking about me. I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about James Coleman. Okay? Birthday parties, spades game, everything, turned it down. You know, because I saw the big picture. I was dreaming again, and I knew if I wanted to get what I wanted, I had to give up some things. So when my wife decided to go to Haiti for 10 days where the parents wanted me to go, I said, I can't go. You go with the baby. I'm going to stay here and build this thing. Baby, you got to take a break. No, I don't. I ain't got to take no break. I ain't got to take no break. Y'all want to know when I took a break? When I went to Hawaii last year. That's when I took a break. When I went to Hawaii. You know, but because of this, you know, when my daughter had a baby early, we was able to send my wife up to Jersey to spend a whole 2 months with her while I stayed back with my baby, with my little daughter. Here's what I know. If I had a job, I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that at all, you know. But because of the alliance, I was able to do that. To have my wife see her parents more than she's ever in the whole 19 years that we've been together. Because guess what? The job don't control me. Right. So every year for, what's the holiday? New Year's? We go down to Miami and spend about 2 weeks down there and kick back and just relax. It's a beautiful thing. It's an absolute beautiful thing. To be able to go to the store, get what we want, and not have to worry about it, and not have to worry about, you know, we got to switch cars with the neighbors. I know I ain't the only one. And let me tell you something. Everything that I had to give up and sacrifice was worth it. To follow Mr. Andy Albright is worth everything I had to give up. All the sacrifices, all the naysayers telling me I couldn't do it. I'm like, look at me now. Look at me now. You know, and sometimes, and I say to say this, sometimes you don't know what your future holds, but you gotta walk in faith. If you got a dream, you gotta walk in faith that it is going to come to fruition. Here's what I know. In order for things to change, you got to change. When do the change start? The change start the minute that you build it right here and you see the completed product. That's when the change starts. You got to see right here. You got to see yourself driving whatever car that you want. You got to see yourself in whatever house that you want. You got to see it. You got to believe it. You can't accomplish what your brain can't conceive. If you can conceive the thought, it's a matter of bringing that thought into existence. Stumbling blocks are only opportunities. Here's what I know. The minute you make a decision to be successful and go after your dreams, you're going to face opposition. Okay. But you got to have somebody in your corner to help you get through it. You got to. People think that this is a walk in the park. It's not a walk in the park. It's not. But guess what? When you got people like Miss Diane Lampy in your corner, when you got Andy and Jane Albright in your corner, and you got the system, the culture, the community, it makes it a whole lot easier to deal with. Because we all deal with things in life. All of us. The minute you make that decision, it's going to happen. It's a ton of opportunity out there for each and every one of us here. The question is, what are you going to do with it? They say opportunities are never missed. They just passed on to the next prepared person. The question is, are you the prepared person? Are you going to do what it takes to become successful? That's what it boils down to. When you have two people get into the alliance at the same time, two people get into alliance at the same time, one person ends up becoming super successful. The other person, they make some money, great. What is the difference between those two people? Here's what it is. The person that becomes super successful adds more value. That's right. They add more value, and you get paid off of the value that you add. So you got to ask yourself, what value am I adding when I'm out there? Not just to your family, but to the people you're recruiting and to the people that you're sitting down with. The other person also makes the necessary sacrifices. They got the system in them. See, some people are in the system. Here's what I mean by that. They're just showing up.
Easy, brother.
James, you need to watch out there.
Okay, all right. They are just showing up. See, when the system is in you, let me tell you something. Your headlights are here. You got tunnel vision. That's right. You all the way plugged in. You ain't missing no conferences. You know, we got Act Now. We used to have Instant Thunder. You at the Instant Thunders. You at your hot spot whenever the hot spot is. The TWC come on Wednesday. Guess what you're doing? Watching TWC. Right. Product call on Thursday. Let me tell you what you're doing. On the product call. Activity call on Friday. Let me tell you what you're doing. On the activity call. Right. And here's the thing. You're taking notes and everything, right? And you're going back out there applying what it is you learned. They say knowledge is power. It's not power unless it's applied. That's it. It's not, you got to apply it. You just can't get this stuff and do nothing with it.
Hey, James, you hit on something right now. Let's talk about the Alliance certification training.
Yeah, we got a couple of them. Is it three more days or 4 more?
We've got 3 more coming up, guys. And you can go. You got to apply. There's only 50 spots. 50 spots. So we got one in Houston on April 24th through the 27th. You can write these down. Jacksonville, May 4th through the 7th. And Burlington, June 11th through the 14th. Hey, and check this out. Andy's got some boot camps going on.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah. Right, and you can look these up, but I'm going to tell you these right now. It's April 22nd through the 25th in San Antonio, Duluth, Lakeland, and Fort Lauderdale. Right? Anybody?
Y'all know what Duluth is? That's Georgia.
Yeah, Duluth, Georgia.
All right.
Duluth is on fire.
Yeah. May 20th through the 23rd, we've got Las Vegas, Seattle. Woo! We got some people out I know that are saying, all right, we're in. Salt Lake City, excited about that, and Los Angeles. So mark your calendars. And I know, James, you had so many great things that you were sharing there with, because what he was saying, he lives it every day. And you can tell that he has got that belief in him that nothing's going to stop him. But here's what I know, and you know. Uh-oh.
Come on. Give it to him.
It's about the foundation.
Okay.
Yeah, it is.
You know, in a house, let's take it with a house. There's a house. When you build a house, there's a foundation. If that crack is in the foundation, when you put brick up, put anything up, what happens? It's not
ain't
safe.
sturdy.
There's going to be cracks going up it. And then also what happens is, it happens to us in life too. So what we want to talk to you about today is winning. As James told you, he went through it. And nobody could tell him he could do any different. I could tell you the same story because my family thought I was crazy. Okay? And then they said the same thing to me. I knew you could do it. I
Liars.
knew she had it.
Liars.
And you know, it's like time passes as we've got a choice. We either get bitter or we get better.
Yep.
And how do people get bitter? Because then they think of all the missed opportunities and all the things that they shoulda, coulda, woulda had. And the only way that you can do them, and James said it, it was awesome what he just said here, all in. See, when I got started, it was the same thing. I had my blinders on. Nobody was going to tell me that I couldn't do it. I didn't know it didn't exist, that I couldn't. What are you thinking about? What goes through your mind every day? Is it, I'm going to give it one more day? Or is it that your dreams are so big that you get up in the morning and you're just fired up, ready to go because you know good things are going to happen for you? You know, I know that people tell me, you know, Diane, you're just like so happy all the time.
Gotta
you know,
be happy.
Huh?
Got to be happy.
Right.
It's
Because
a
there's
choice.
a choice every day
It's
that
a
you wake
choice.
up.
It's a choice.
And so I'm fired up when I get up in the morning because I know I've got big dreams and I'm not willing to let them go. And also what really excites me is being part of the Alliance team and seeing so many others have their dreams come true. Whether they're on the Lampe team or whose team, it's the Alliance. We're one big team.
That's right.
And we got to help each other win. But we have to have that winning attitude because let me tell you this, it's worth it. Because people say to you, oh my gosh, James, you gave up so much stuff. Your probably friends thought, oh man, he's gone crazy. He's given up everything.
Let me tell you something, Diane. My wife and I, the friends that we thought we had, they don't even return our calls no more. Because they got so used to us not even responding to them. So we reached out to them, they don't respond. I'm like, but it's cool. We hanging out with millionaires. Forget them. No, forget them. We got better friends now. Hey, my man, we got friends with ends, okay? You know, so hey, one of the things that also keeps me going is that, see, Andy Albright put these CDs out called Move, right? And one of the CDs, he's talking about when you're driving in the car, right? And the windshield is so big, so you get to see the future. And when you look in that rear view mirror, everything is small because you're leaving it behind. So everything that you've been through already, it's in the past. Let it go. See, life is 90% what happens, and life is 10% what happens, and 90% what you do about it afterwards. So the question is, what are you going to do? When it comes to your dreams, you got to have that childlike faith and believe it's going to happen. Like when you teach a baby to walk, they take a step, they fall down, they get right back up. Put them back up, they take it again. And they keep doing it until they start walking and start running. See, that's the kind of faith that we got to have. If you believe in Andy Albright and Jane Albright and the vision and the system, that's the kind of faith that you got to have. For those that was here at NatCon and y'all watched Mr. Andy Albright and Jane Albright put them contracts in for over $500 million to change people's lives and their family lives, that's unheard of. This is a public announcement. If I hear anybody, if I hear anybody say something bad about Jane Albright, Andy Albright, or Miss Diane Lampe, I'm going to punch you in the face on purpose by accident. I'm telling you.
Oh my God. Okay.
You got to understand, what Andy is allowing people to dream again. He's allowing people to say, guess what? I know you failed, but you can get back up. You understand? We are the only species on the planet that have the capacity to change the course of our lives if we choose to do so.
Let's show him how to do it. I know you're on a roll here. Let's just do it. Let's talk about it. Okay. This is what I love about James. He's honestly fired up. This is how he is every day. Look, let's talk about financial freedom. You know, people want it, but what does it mean to you, right? Everybody's got a different number. I don't know what it is for you, but he said it just a few minutes ago. You got to build it in your mind first. You got to build it on paper, and then you got to build it. Because the naysayers, they're always going to come by, guys, and you've got to have that armor on you every day. Because they're going to come by and they're going to tell you, you can't. You know, my plates say you can too on my license plates. Because that's what I really believe, that you can too. Anybody can do this. Here, I want to show something here, James. I was thinking about this. And I saw Andy do this one time. I think if I can do it with this. It's called your comfort zone.
Okay.
And a lot of times we don't like to go out of our comfort zone, right? Because it doesn't feel too good. And so what we have to do is learn to expand our comfort zone. Okay, so as you get uncomfortable for a little bit, here's what happens. This now becomes your comfort zone. Right? Think about it. Of all the things that you've learned and read, and all of a sudden you're feeling a little bit more, what? Comfortable. Because uncomfortable doesn't feel good sometimes. But if you have a huge dream, feeling uncomfortable is something you know you need to do, because if you would be making the money that you already wanted, you already would have it.
That's right.
You got a point.
You'd already have it.
Can't argue with that.
Right? Can't argue with that, right, Terry? So the only way you can get it is to start expanding. And then what are you going to do? Andy talks about it all the time. Guess what that means? As you start expanding it, you start to become more comfortable again. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And so what our goal is to keep going like this, because as you do this, so will your income change.
Oh, that's right.
Your income is not, if it's here and you're staying in your little circle of this is all I'm going to do right there, that's not going to get you to where your dreams can come true. It's not going to happen. And so how do we change that is by changing this. And the only way you could do it is by what James was talking about, by reading more, becoming more, doing more, even when you don't want to. Because when you have a big dream, you're more apt to do a little bit more. But if your dream is too small, it's going to be tough to do that, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Because it's like, oh, I'll just get after it tomorrow. Tomorrow's just another day. I'll do it tomorrow. Anybody know that the tomorrows turn into months and years? Oh, yeah. And then one day you look back. You know, here's the thing I know. If you're going to look back, just don't stare.
So write it down.
Make it fast. Because you don't want to go back there, because see, what we focus on, we move toward. I know, I did the same thing. I'm just like everybody else, but I just had a big dream and wasn't willing to let it go. And so last night when we were in the hot spot in Greensboro, we had some fun, right,
Yes,
James?
some fun. Yes, we did.
And I got some people telling me they couldn't sleep last night because they were starting to dream again. Are you dreaming? Or are you still thinking about one thing? I just want to pay my bills. I just want to get my electric paid. I just want to pay my car. One thing we know is that's what you're just going to get.
That's right.
And so what I love about what Andy does, let me say this. I've been in Andy's jet, and I've been blessed to be able to do these things. But I'm going to tell you, I didn't even know I wanted a jet until I got on the jet.
That's me too, Diane. That's two of us. That's two of us.
Because you don't know what you don't know. So I want to encourage everybody to get the Robb Report, if you've never read it. And when you go in my house, it's kind of funny, because my house is just like all the dream ideas that I put inside of it. I'm not kidding. People that have been in my house, they know. Because if I go in, you go in the media room, that's from the Rob Report.
Uh-huh.
If you go from the kitchen, it's the Architectural Digest.
Yeah.
And you go to different rooms, it's different things. Because I just kept dreaming.
The porte-cochere.
And the porte-cochere.
porte-cochere.
Terry, people go, how do you spell that? Go look it up. I'm not going to do it. and so how do you get these things? You have, and it's not about just the things. It's the things you can do with money too, and help your family and churches and do mission trips. I got to tell you something. Mission trips are great, but if there isn't somebody that's funding it, how does anybody go there? So they need more of us, or more of you, to help do those, right? So we can help more people. That's how we help more people. And that's what I love about what the Alliance stands for.
Absolutely. And Diane, you talk about comfort zone. One of the things I know, Diane, we had this conversation. People say your comfort zone equals your wealth zone. As Miss Diane like to say, your comfort zone equals your broke zone as well. So you stay in here if you want to, and your income going to stay right there as well too. See, when I got started in this business, right, I got to make money. I got to make money, you know, and most people do. They got to make money. But here's what it is. It's not about you getting involved with the Alliance and what you can get. It's about who are you becoming. That's what you got to be asking yourself. Who am I becoming with this system that Andy Albright created? So for me, and I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for nobody else. James become a better version of me. I'm becoming a better dad. I'm becoming a better husband, a better friend, a better leader, a better mentor, a better mentee, all because of what Andy has put together and the system being in me. I challenge you all to ask yourself, who are you becoming? Not what it is I can get.
And that's so true, James, because I think people lose sight of that. And because when you read, you become better. And that's what we were talking about last night. Because what happens is a lot of times we just go through the day, right? You either can choose to live the day or have a great day. You can choose to learn, or you can just, you know, either we're growing or we're dying. You know, there's no other way. You don't stay the same.
Don't stay
right?
the same.
When I was looking at this comfort zone, it made me think about, why do people dream and why do people stop? And a lot of times people stop dreaming because they don't want to get disappointed. Because they didn't get. They don't think they can ever get it. And I'm telling you that this is your shot, that you can get it here. I look back for 13 years now, and my life is totally different. And I'm so grateful. And the best thing I can do for Andy Albright and the Alliance is to grow. And to show them how thankful I am for this opportunity. And this is your chance to make it happen. And that's why we're talking about the dream, because the dream is such an important thing. It is, that will fuel your day. It'll fuel your day to keep going even when you don't want to. You'll make that one more phone call. But if your dreams have to be bigger than your fears, because you'll stay right there if your dreams are not big enough. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yep.
And allowing yourself to be mentored is a lot of times, I feel lucky because I've had mentors through my life. I know James has too, but if you've never had a mentor, yes, you've all had mentors. Your mother and father have been mentors, or your teacher has been a mentor, or you've been on a basketball team, or there's somebody somewhere in your life that has made a difference in your life, right? And maybe you're making a difference in your children's lives or something like that. But to understand how important mentorship and leadership is, that saves you from a lot of what? Mistakes. Because guess what? They've already been through those minefields. And they're like, don't go there. Because some people say, well, I want to make my own mistakes.
God bless them.
Yeah, that's too slow, right? That's too slow. But when somebody in the Alliance can say, hey, don't do that. We've already tried that. You know, just follow the system. Because the simple system that Andy created, and it's simple. but it isn't easy. Because there's a word that a lot of people don't like, James. But we're going to get serious just for a minute because we know what it is. It's step 2 of the 8 steps to success.
Go ahead,
It's
Diane.
work. Work.
They got to work, Diane.
Because here's the thing. A lot of people want what Andy has. And they say, I want to be just like you, Andy Albright. And then are you willing to do what he did? For as long as he did. And gave up what he did. And that's what I want to show some people something I want you to think about today. All right, we're going to go over
Sure.
here. I'm going to have some fun. Now, a lot of times, as we stop dreaming, the biggest thing I really hope that today that you get from this is that you start dreaming again. We did an exercise last night in Greensboro, and it wasn't a long exercise. We don't have time to do it today, but I will tell you, it's about thinking about things that you really want, that you have maybe shut down, that you haven't thought about in a long time because you buried them and said, well, you know, and James said it. I've had people that say, I'm going to have a Lamborghini, and now, you know, they don't even have it on their radar anymore because they feel like they can't get it. But guess you can get it.
They're at Chick-fil-A.
At what?
They're working
They're
at Chick-fil-A.
working at Chick-fil-A. No. But you can have whatever you want when you make a decision that you want it. And so how do you do that? How do you do that if you put it and tucked it away? Right? And so when we get to go on these trips, Andy does such a beautiful job of expanding our dreams and visions, to thinking about things like I never thought, I'm just a city girl from Chicago that my mother worked in a grocery store and my father was in tool and die. I mean, I don't have, you know, like everything was not handed to me, but I just had a dream and I just wouldn't let it go. I'm hoping that that's you today, that you've had something that you got buried inside of you, that you're going to bring it back and say, why not me? Why not now? Everything's in place that Andy's put together. Why can't this be your shot? Why can't it be for you? You should be the one standing up here. Say, I'm going to be standing up here doing the TWC in a year from now. Why can't that be you? Why can't you be the one walking across the stage making $1 million? Why can't it be you going out there helping families? Why not? Anybody can do it. You just have to make a decision. It's going to be you. And then how do you do that? Watch this. You're not going to like this.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. James, you know where I'm going.
Get them.
All right. So I want you to,
There go the
right
tea.
now,
There go the
it's
tea.
the tea.
There go the tea.
It's a tea. Now, people say they want to make money and all this kind of stuff. So I want you to put the money that's your goal. Was it $100,000 a year, $500,000 a year? I don't know, $1 million, $10 million? I don't know what your number is. But write that down. Can you guys just, you know, write that down. I don't care what it is. And you don't have to share it with anybody, so you can make it as big as you want. It's yours. Nobody else. Because one size doesn't fit all, right?
That's right.
But here's what I want you to do. Over here, I want you to write, what are you gonna give up to get it? James, what do you think? Now, you just heard James talking about that. So that got a lot of people writing right now, which is good. So how much money is it, and what are you willing to give up to get it?
You know, Diane, I remember January 1st of 2016, Andy Albright did a call. And on that call, Andy said, I want you to ask yourself 3 questions. What do you want? How bad do you want it? And what are you willing to give up to get it? And Diane is saying, if you want to make this money, what are you willing to give up to get it? See, if your dreams got to be big enough to make you get up out of the bed when you don't want to get out of bed. Your dreams got to be big enough to make you make those phone calls when you don't feel like making them. Go run those appointments when you don't feel like running them. Make those recruiting calls when you don't feel like making them. Go to a conference when you don't feel like going. Associate with people when you don't feel like it. Your dreams got to be that big, because if your dreams are that big, they will move you into action. And here's what I know. they will push you through whatever it is you're going to deal with because it's that big. See, if you want an above average life, then you got to become an above average person, which means you're going to have to do some above average activity in this business.
Here's an interesting thing, James, on this. And I see it a lot. People will say to me, they'll give me a number, and there's not much on that list. And then what I'm going to say, well, let's talk about your schedule. Let's talk about what you do every day. Because then what I'm going to do, and you're not going to like this part. So let's say if you had a number here, I might tell you you need to put some things on there, or you need to take that number down. It's called a reality check.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can't keep your life the same way it is and make that income, because it's not going to happen. Because it would have already happened.
Yep.
And so I don't know what's over here. I don't know if it's social media. I don't know if it's TV. I don't know if it's football games. I don't know what it is. But you know what it is.
Family functions. That's what they call them anyway.
You know the answer. I knew the answer for me of things that I had. It's called the stop doing list. That's what it is. And maybe I had some people say they had to learn to say no to family because they became the dumping ground of everybody. Well, she can do it. Melissa can do it. Tia can do it. Nick can do it. And everybody else can do it because they didn't want to do it, but they figured you'd never say no.
Mm-hmm.
That you're all, and then, oh, here's the good one. They know that you have, you know, they call it you have a business, but you have time, so you can do it. You ever get that? And sometimes you get it from your spouse. Oh, yeah, can you mind just running over here real quick? It'll only take you 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden you become the errand runner.
Yep.
Uh-oh. Oh, what's going on, Terry? He's putting his head down. He's going, uh-oh. So what is it for you? What can you give up today that can help you free up your time to do the income-producing activities instead of the non-producing? Here's the thing that we talk about all the time. It's confusing being busy with being productive.
Productive.
Because you can be doing the busy things, which are usually the easy things and the easy things that you can check off. Oh, yeah, I did this. Oh, it's going to be great. And then the big things that are going to make you the most amount of money, they're still on that list.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I did it. I used to have a to-do list. And, so like, oh, I'll just do this one real quick because that'll only take me 5 minutes. I'll do this one real quick. Then all of a sudden the day slips. Anybody else want to admit it in this room? Yeah. We all done it, right? We all done it. Yeah, and so it goes back to Andy's ABCDE. And before he came out with that, I was doing something that I had learned that I picked out the top 3, and I've been doing this for like 10, 15 years, is that I had a list, and I picked out the top 3 that were going to make me the most amount of money, and which were usually the hardest things to do, and I did them first. That inverted everything, and it changed my income. So if you would do that for yourself, that would change your income really fast too, because it's just doing the things that are going to yield you the most amount of money. Because we have trips coming up.
Yeah, we do.
We got places to go and people to see. We want you guys on it, And the only way that you can get on it is to what? Make some changes. And I know that, it made it sound like James isn't doing anything anymore, right? It says he gave up everything. But guess what he gets to do? What he wants to do. And there's not a price tag for that. So that if he wants to pick up and go with his wife to anywhere, or go buy something, or go to dinner, or do it, he has the funds to do it. Like those shoes.
Back on the shoes, huh?
Or the shirt, or go shopping. So here's the thing. You need to ask yourself, what are you willing to give up on that list? And don't just put that list away, work on it. And maybe find a buddy that you can share that with and keep yourself accountable. Because everything that Andy's got in place right now is the moment to take action. Not in 6 months, not in a year from now. It's right now.
Right
And
now.
so what can you do right now that would make the change for you? Because I don't know what it is for you and what your dream is, but I know that you can have anything you want. If you make a decision, that's what it is. And I was telling those guys last night that I was so focused on my dream that I put it on index cards and I walked around all the time with that, with me, all the time, my top 3 things. And I had dates on them. And that's what I did, is I walked around, I had it in my car, I had it on the TV, I had it on the refrigerator, I had it in the bedroom, I had it on the computer, everywhere that I could get off track. Because guess what? If you put it on a piece of paper and you put it in the drawer, you might not see it no more. I'm starting to rhyme again, right? And so if you put it to the forefront everywhere you go, it's that reminder of why you're doing this. Because the why is so important, whatever it is, that then you can say, that's why I'm doing this. I need not watch the TV, or they'll stop doing it because it's so tempting, right? Especially if our friends or family calls us up. I'll only be an hour. You can get back to work. Here's what I know. It's the multitasking that kills us all. People that say that multitasking, I'm a great multitasker, I will tell you that's not so good. And here's why. I don't make these things up. Google it, because Google knows all the answers,
all
right?
the answers, yep.
But they say every time you get off your schedule, or you take that call, or you're doing a project, and then you're going back, let's say you're dialing and somebody diverts you, it takes you 20 minutes to get back. You lose 20 minutes every time you stop and do something that you shouldn't be doing, that is not on your schedule. People that make the most amount of money have the tightest schedule, and they follow them. Look them up. Billionaires. They're not multitasking because they have people to do their other stuff, right? But they're focused on the main thing every day. So how do you do that? With an ironclad schedule. And we're going to be talking about that actually on the activity call on Friday. Because we're going to have, like today we're talking about the dream and you can do it and how do you push through even when you don't want to. And then we're going to fill it up on Friday, how to have that armor on and make sure that you can keep going even when you have those moments. Because they're going to come a lot. Because until you can take this and put these on here and say, check, I've passed it. I'm going to stop doing that. I had some people upon there, they're not going to sleep so much. Don't tell me if it's you, if that's okay. But I've had people that say, I got to stop sleeping so much. I've got to stop doing, too many events, too many dinners with friends and family, whatever it is.
Wow.
But
they got a lot of time.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So much time, right?
Yeah, wow.
What do you think the biggest thing is that you gave up that made all the difference for you?
I just gave up socializing with everybody, Diane. I didn't care. Let me tell you something. I was in a situation and it needed to change.
Right.
I made a decision that I was going to be financially free. I made a decision that my kids would not have to want for nothing and create a legacy. So I'm like, it's all gone, forget it. Throw it in the garbage. I don't care. It's done. I don't care what nobody say about me. I don't care. See, when I go yacht shopping, I can't go yacht shopping with broke people. I'm up 2 o'clock in the morning looking at $12 million yachts. I'm looking at jets. I was looking at the King Air, the Citation, the Phenom 300s, looking at the price points. I don't know what y'all doing. I can't sleep from dreaming. And my wife like, we don't need a jet. We don't need a yacht. My daughter like, yes, we do. I'm like, that's my baby. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. But so for me, Diane, I was willing to give up everything, Diane, to be on the path that has some success and to change the trajectory of my life and for my kids. So I didn't care. I didn't care what anybody said about me, and I did not care.
And you know what? That's interesting because I'm sure Andy thought the same way. I know I did too, because I was just on a mission. Because here, let me tell you this. My defining moment was being in corporate America, JOB, just over broke, going, like I said, dead man walking. That's how I felt. I was going to work, coming home, you got your check, you know, maybe you made it through the month, maybe you didn't, and then guess what? You get to do it all over again next week, right? And maybe you might have a job, and maybe you might not.
Right.
And I remember going out in my backyard and saying, this can't be it. This can't be it. I was not put on this earth to just pay bills and live for the weekend. I want to live my life. I want to do good things for other people. I want to make a difference. I want a legacy for my family. I want to pass it on for generations. And how can you pass it on in a job? You can't do it.
You can't.
And I remember going out there that day, and it was a changing moment for me. It was a defining moment. And then I kept wondering, what do all these people do that have all these beautiful houses, cars, they're happy, they're this. And most people I talked to didn't have a job. They had a business. They had something. Maybe they had a job and they had a business that they started on the side. They had something, because I will tell you, you will not get wealthy working for somebody else. It's just not going to happen.
It's gonna happen.
And so when I realized that, I knew I had to make a change. And I couldn't sleep. I mean, I watched TV till 2 o'clock in the morning. I was watching all those infomercials. I was just trying anything and everything so I could change and get out of that. And then I realized I had to change and start reading and become a better version of myself. Because I had to, because where I was not going to, that's not where I wanted to be. And I believe that you're on here today and you're in this room is because that's what you think for you. You think that you're meant to do more, you're meant to be more, and the only way you can do it is to become a better version of yourself. And the only way to do it is to believe you can do it. Get those dreams in front of you and never let them go. Never let anybody tell you that. And you can hear James and you can hear all the leaders and people that are in here and they're winning. They are big dreamers.
You know, Diane, very rarely do a person income exceeds their personal development. So now let's take Andy Albright as an example. For those that's been in Andy Albright's office, do y'all see all the books that's in there? Equate that to where he's at income-wise. And then look at yourself and ask yourself, what does your library look like? That's a serious question. Your income going to grow if you grow. Anybody ever been to the store and they saw something and it was too expensive? Y'all said it's too expensive? It wasn't too expensive. You just couldn't afford it. It wasn't too expensive.
That's right.
Because people buying it. That's why it has the price tag that it has. People buying it. You're the one that's not buying it because you're not making enough money.
Oh, James, I got a question for them.
Go ahead.
I don't know if they're going to like this question.
Uh-oh.
If where you are right now and nothing changes, nothing, where are you going to be in 5 years? What does it look like 5 years from now for you if nothing changes? What is it going to look like in 10 years from now if nothing changes? That's why the mission that we're on is so powerful. Have fun, make money, make a difference. That's really what we do. And it's our responsibility to go out there and share it with the world.
Yeah, it is.
Because this is like the best hidden secret. Look, here's what I know. When I first got started, I'm going to tell you, I couldn't tell enough people. I was just crazy, crazy, crazy. We don't need to be secret agents. Because this is like, to me, the best kept secret. We shouldn't be a secret. Because people need what we have. But here's the thing. This simple system will set you free.
Gotta follow the system.
It's us that complicate it.
Yep. Because you know why we complicate, Diane? We want to reinvent the system.
That's
Why
right.
would you reinvent the system that Angie created that has made multiple millionaires and you've made none? It's mind-boggling, Diane. It's absolutely mind-boggling. I don't understand it.
All I know is that he made it so simple, guys, that, I mean, if you go into NAA University, you talk to President's Club, you do these things, they're all here to help you. But sometimes we want to do it our own way. And say, yeah, but I think if we did it this way, well, I'm like, oh, okay. And because I know that everything that he's got in there has been, those are proven. He didn't just try it. This is just like, oh, let's just try this today. These are people that made hundreds and thousands and millions of dollars on the different aspects of the system, but yet we choose to not do them sometimes because, oh, I'll skip that because I've heard it before. That's a big thing that, I mean, and I know it sounds like, okay, well, Diane, that's a bad path you're going down, but yet it's a great, important path because a lot of times people will skip things. Oh, I already heard that meeting. I've been to that hotspot. I've heard that call. I've done that. I can skip it this week. I could do that. Here's the thing I know. There could be that one nugget there that could make you millions of dollars,
Yep.
and maybe you missed it that day.
Yep.
And here is the biggest part of that. The people that make the most amount of money don't miss them.
Yep.
They don't. They're at all. I mean, I've never missed a conference. I am not.
Not at all.
No, I don't miss things because I just don't know what Andy's got in store that he's got on there that's going to make a difference to help grow the business. And
I do you one even better, Diane. So
what?
I got 10 brothers and sisters,
Uh-oh.
right? And we having our very first family reunion. Guess what the dates are? The same dates that this family reunion is. Guess who's not going to the brother and sister family reunion? No! Already got a family reunion. I'm attending. I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it. Why? Because I'm okay with following Andy.
That's right.
See, I'm okay with Diane being my mentor. Why? Because she follows Andy. My brothers, they ain't following Andy Albright. They calling asking me for money. No, I don't want to be in that situation. No, I'm following Andy. I will be here at family reunion with my family.
Hey, speaking of that's right. Those dates, we need to talk about that. That's July 18th
18th
through the
through
21st.
Yes.
Yep. And you know, I think F&G is going to be giving out some bags or some contest. There's a contest that F&G started on March 18th, and there's 50 winners.
50 winners.
And there'll be, here's how you qualify. 5 issue paid IULs or annuities or $10,000 in target premium, whichever comes first. Annuities count 10% as usual. And you're going to get, look at this. I thought it was pretty nice. Hold on a second.
Yeah. She fancy.
This is a nice looking bag. That's
a
all
nice
I'm going to
bag.
say.
That is
Want
nice.
that, Kyle?
Ooh,
That's a nice looking
leather.
bag, isn't it?
Imagine going to your client house with that. You fancy.
So it says Alliance and F&G on there. And, I mean, it's a nice look. It's like
Yeah,
a
this
nice
is
leather to
nice.
me.
Yeah.
You want one?
Sure.
You better get to work.
I had to get to work on that. I had to be selling some F&G. Yeah. Need one of those. More work, more work, more work, more work. Yeah.
Hey, guess what? Every contest that comes out, he's already envisioning that he's winning it anyway.
Hey, look. Here's what I know, Diane. When it comes to that stuff, hey, my daddy said, hey, money on the wood make the game go good. You got to spend money to make money. You know, y'all want to win Alaska? You got to spend money to make money. Here's what I tell you how to win it right now. Right now,
Better
all you
write
got to
this
do
down.
is issue pay 5 policies a week with the monthly premium being $80 per policy, and you win Alaska. Starting this
right now.
month. Right now.
And
That's all you
that's
got to
without
do.
the bonus points.
With no bonus points. 5. That's it. Everybody can do it if they want to do it. If you make your mind up that you're going, then you know what you got to do to get there. Can't nobody out there say, I didn't know what I need to do to get there, because I just told you.
That's
And,
right.
and I'm not counting anything that you've done in the first 3 months. I'm talking right now.
And you know what
5
else I
issue
would
pay
tell them too?
policies.
If you haven't gone to the Alliance certification training, seriously, I'm bringing this up again because that will spring forward you like 6 months. You have to apply. You might have to travel unless you're, Burlington is June 11th through the 14th. I mean,
Dang, I say they should apply for all of them. And
yeah,
whichever
apply
one they
for
get
all of
selected
them.
for, they're just going to have to take the trip.
That's right.
I talked to some people that went to the Lions certification training, and I got text messages from some of them what they're doing now and how it is changing their business. If you have not applied, I highly encourage you, get the application, get it filled out, and like I said, apply for all of them. Whichever one you get selected to, make the sacrifice and go.
It will be worth it. Because here's what I know. Every time you go to an event, especially a big event, okay, it'll bring your business forward 6 months. You move your business forward 6 months every time you go to an event like that. But don't go alone, right?
Go alone.
Bring people with you. If you're looking to build your business, you have to build it every single day. And that's how do you do that? Most people think, oh, I got to worry about getting myself there. What if you brought 10 people there? I remember for my first event that I attended with the Alliance, I brought 30 people with me. Chris was one of them, by the way. Chris Scheitlen back there, agency manager.
That's right.
So she was one of them. That was 13 years ago. And I'm telling you, when you do that, that's how you compound things. The magic of compounding is Albert Einstein, the greatest wonders, the 8th wonder of the world. Those that understand it earn it. Those that don't spend it. It applies for a lot of things because when you compound, like if you only recruit one person a month, you'll do 12 a year. But if you did 10 a month, now you have 120. There's a big difference there, right? So, everybody in this room will make $1 million. But you got to make a decision. Is it going to take you 20 years? 5 years? 10 years? 1 year? 1 month? That's up to you. What we're trying to do is show you how, because of the dream, that you can do it even faster than you ever thought possible. Because, it's like you're gonna run to things instead of run away from things. Does that make sense? It's like, I think about it every day. If I wouldn't have just jumped in with both feet and just went, I was ignorance on fire. I never waited to make everything perfect because I knew Andy would. So have that belief today.
Yep.
Because look at you knew when you came in, you had to go. Anybody in this room have to go, make some money? Okay, really?
Tell me.
It's
I had to go.
Had to go. How do you go? You gotta go. That means the comfort zone right here. You gotta do that. How do you change that today? And think about that for yourself. What can I do today that I can stretch myself just a little bit more? Because if you get those butterflies and you do it, how do you feel when it's done that you did it anyway? Isn't that when you feel the greatest? When you say, oh my goodness, it wasn't as bad as I thought. That was, but it's the fear, the false expectations appearing real. Yeah. And then when we do it, it's like, oh, easy peasy. What was I even worried about?
Yep.
But imagine this. Imagine if this was you and you made a decision that every 30 days you were going to grow like that instead of maybe every 10 years or maybe not at all. And maybe you're just stuck right there. You know who those people are. You wouldn't be in this room if you were one of those. Right? So how can you expand your comfort zone in the next 30 days? What do you think they could do, James?
First, they got to start reading, Diane. They got to start reading. And here's one of the greatest things that has worked for me. I allowed myself to become completely transparent with Miss Diane Lampe and everything I was dealing with in my personal life. And it helped my wife and I just like that. I mean, I'll put it out there. I talked about it last night in Greensboro. But I remember my wife and I, our motto is, what did Diane say? That's our motto in the house. What did Diane say? Did you talk to Diane? Because we got to run everything by her. So we was like $25,000 in debt. So we was like, yeah, we're going to file for bankruptcy. But let's call Diane and see what she say. So we called Diane. Hey, we're thinking about filing for bankruptcy. What do you think? Well, how much debt you in, James? I said, $25,000. Boy, if you don't pay that $25,000 and get off this phone talking about filing for bankruptcy, she said, you made that debt, you own it, you pay it. Take responsibility for what you did. And that's what we did. Okay, Diane said we got to pay it. I guess we got to pay it. You know, because filing for bankruptcy, she's like, it's just running away from what you created. You're not facing up. You're not owning up to what you've done. And we did that. You know, I was having lunch with Diane, and she was in Atlanta, and my wife sent me a picture. She wanted this $60,000 truck. She said, hey, can we get this truck? I said, yeah, we can get it. Her next text was, wait a minute, you with Diane? Ask Diane, should we get it? Y'all laugh. I'm telling you, that's how it went. So I showed Diane the truck. She said, yeah, you can afford the truck. I just don't think it's the right time to buy the truck. I'd rather you invest more of that money back into your business to grow your business. Go get a new car, but don't go spend $60,000 on the truck, not yet. So I went and bought my wife a 2019 Jeep Cherokee at a 2% interest with no money down. And it's thanks to us being transparent with Miss Diane about what's going on in our lives to help us in every aspect. So it's not like we just being helped because Diane says there's $1. No, she genuinely cares about us and our family. And I'm telling you, be transparent with your grown upline. Let them help you, because I guarantee you, you're probably not dealing with nothing in this business that they probably have not already dealt with or seen before. Right. Trust me. It would change your life. So much pressure that you got hanging on your shoulders, you're going to feel a big relief when you get to that point.
You know what's interesting about that story, if you think about it, if he would have done that, he wouldn't have been able to get that vehicle.
Yeah.
At a 2% interest rate, would he?
No.
Would he have been able to get that vehicle?
No.
Maybe at 20% interest
Probably 20%.
rate. Because it's a decision, right? And so he, you know, I would say that what he said is, you know, you need to have that leadership and mentorship in your life because they've probably been through it. They probably heard it. Something could have happened, or they know somebody and they can direct you to do that, because that's what Andy provides with the Alliance. Mm-hmm. That it's not just about really what I said last night. We're in the people business. And oh, by the way, we have insurance products. Is really what we are, because we can help change people's lives. Yep. We don't do it. You're going to change your own life, but we can hand you the tools and the vehicles that you can do it, that he's put in place. You know what? I will tell you, the staff and the whole Alliance team that he's got out, every one of them is so helpful.
Yeah, it is.
That you really need to take advantage of that. The President's Club, you want to learn how to recruit, get to the guys over there at ABT. I mean, they're all going to help you. But it's knowing that these tools are available for you. And how do you find out? You've got to associate. You got to know that they're there. How do you get there? Make a friend before you need one. So that even with the insurance companies, that's why you go to conference. It's fine. You say, oh, what? I don't want any rah-rah to go to the conference. Hey, guess what?
Take it all day.
Everybody, Zig Ziglar said everybody needs motivation.
That's right.
Every day. It's like bathing, you know? So it's like, make sure, you know, when you go to these events, it's not just about you just going there. You're going to meet the insurance companies. You're going to meet the leaders in the company. You're going to meet the staff that Andy has put together for all of you, all of us, that we can, you know, utilize. And they're going to be so giving and helpful. But guess what? If you don't meet them and even know that they exist, how do you know, right? They're there.
Yeah.
And, you know, like even with President's Club, I gave them a shout out the other day, and I'm giving another shout out there. You could call them. They're going to help you.
Well, speaking of President's Club, Diane, I will be hosting the President's Club call on Tuesday.
Ah.
Okay? Glad you brought that up. But one thing I want to say, though, everybody, right now, you could put $2,000 in your bank account next Friday.
Tell them.
Everybody, right now. They got the department upstairs that Clay Murders run, the lead department.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you. I'm only gonna tell you what works. You go and get 15 A-leads. If you're a starting contract at $30 a piece, it's gonna run you about $570. You'll get 15 A-leads. You're gonna book 9 appointments. I'm gonna say you're horrible, so I'm gonna say you're gonna close 4 out of the 9. You're gonna pick up 6 applications. At your starting contract level at 55%. You will get $2,000 deposited in your account next Friday. And I'm factoring in that 20% of what you write don't get approved. Everybody should be calling Clay right now and saying, I want 15 A-leads right now because I need to put $2,000 in my account. See, people say, I want to make $100,000 a year. It's only $8,333 a month. It's only $2,083 a week. It's only $267.13 a day. Right. Everybody in here can make 6 figures. Everybody can make 6 figures. The question is, do you want to make 6 figures?
Yes. And I'm going to add one thing to that. Let's say you're brand new and you're like, I just started. I don't even know what I'm doing. Here's what I would tell you to do. Practice on your family and friends.
That's right.
What does that mean? Is it going to be easier for you? Now, we're giving a little bit of what we're going to be talking about on Friday, but let's
give them a teaser.
Give them a little teaser. But it's going to be, and I know I was, when I first started, it was always warm market for me, right? And so what would it be easier for you to sit down with your friends and family and practice on them? Because they're going to, maybe even need something that you have there and maybe possibly buy. Now you're funding your business. So think about what you can do today. What is that for you? Is it that you need to just believe a little bit more? How do you get that belief inside of you? It goes back to what we started with today, the dream.
The dream.
The dream. When we get off of here today, if you would just take a few minutes, and I would tell you this is the exercise we did last night. If you would just take like 10 minutes and write down as fast as you could, I'm going to give it to you so that maybe some of you might do it, some of you might not, okay? But here's what I would like to leave you with today, is take a piece of paper and write down as fast as you can, and you got to promise me that you will not raise your pen from the paper, which means that you have to just keep writing of anything and everything that you could possibly ever want or have wanted in your life. You can have it. You can just write it down, and you're going to write as fast as you can for 10 minutes. And just write. And what I will tell you is things are going to pop out that you forgot about. You're going to start thinking, whoa, wait a minute, I forgot all about that. Mm-hmm. And then what I'd like to have you do is then go back and just write down, like, okay, I want to have this in 1 year, 3 years, 5 years, next month, 10 years, 20 years, and put them down and put dates on it. It's funny how your mind works and your brain works. Because I remember I did that exercise maybe about 15 years ago, and I look back at the list, and 85% of them had happened. So if you don't think there's power in writing things down, making them happen, I don't know. What if I didn't write them down, right? So I want to encourage you to do that for yourself today. And share it with somebody, share it with your leader, share it with your upline, and say, look, I was listening to this today. I really want to change my life. I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. I want a better life now. I want to do better things. I want to be a better version of me. I want to help more people. I want to help my family. I want to help my church. Whatever it is for you, what is it? But figure it out. And I promise you, once you make that declaration and a decision, your mind will work differently in figuring out ways to get it rather than ways that of being our old version of ourselves, right? And making sure that you keep that to the forefront. You heard James Coleman today. I'm just so proud of you. I just know that you're going to be walking across the stage, EVP. I see it. I know you see it. He's ready. He's got his clothes. Let's make it happen for you guys. Let's make this your best year ever. Let's help Andy Albright get to that $1 billion company. Let's see all of you go on the trips. Let's make it happen together. Let's have a great week, guys. Let's go kill it!